The Unity family, we're back again on the AfricaUnitytv platform. My name is KingIdris and I'm here to give you guys a new insight on what is going on the home ground in Africa and international community. Today, my people, we are here to talk about the hope of Nigeria and the future of Nigeria and the man of the moment in Nigeria, whereby a lot of citizens, a lot of Nigerian youth rally around this man as they supported his political ambition for the forthcoming 2023 election, because Peter Obi is the only man, going against the two dominant party that has been in dominance in Nigeria for ever since the end of the military rule in Nigeria. The two big party and the two big players out of Nigerian politics. We're talking about Tinubu from the west, Bola Ahmed Tinubu from the west, and we're talking about Atiku Abubakar from the north. These Nigerian politicians have been in Nigerian political sectors for a long time. They've put in work with a lot of previous leaders, political leaders in military era. You're talking about the democracy era in Nigeria. They have been in the face of Nigerian politics for a long time. But Peter Obi is a former governor from the eastern side Christian state of Nigeria called Anambra in the eastern side of Nigeria. And when he was the governor of Nigeria, he really put in a lot of work, and his past previous work and vouch for him, because when he was the governor of Nigeria, he put in a lot of work in the educational sectors in Nigeria, and he helped a lot of Easterners, a lot of people from the eastern region. He traveled them out of Nigeria and fly them out of Nigeria on scholarship basis, because this man really put in a lot of work for the citizen of Nigeria and Anambra people. So Peter Obi is a wealthy businessman out of the shore of the eastern side of Nigeria and has a lot of enormous plan for Nigeria, and he's taking up these two political heavyweights ahead of the 2023 presidential election. He's a 61-year-old man from the eastern side of Nigeria, and for now, for the Nigerian people, they see Peter Obi as the new hope and as the new messiah for the youth. The same belief these people are for MKO Abiola in 1993 election is the same belief they have for this eastern businessman Peter Obi at this man. And Peter Obi have already came out to deliberate about how he's going to transform Africa, how he's going to transform Nigeria. Nigeria is the powerhouse in Africa. It's one of the big country in Africa that made a lot of portion in terms of economy. Just name it, like, I don't know, anything you mention in Africa, you have to mention Nigeria because of its population and its capacity. So my people will be going in straight today. Peter Obi talks about corruption. Peter Obi talks about agriculture. He talks about cutting the cost of the governance in Nigeria. And Peter Obi talks about Nigerian refinery. Peter Obi talks about Nigerian economy. And Peter Obi talks about Nigerian state policing. He talks about a lot of issue, because Peter Obi is a man from the eastern region which has huge support from the youth, and a lot of Christian people in Nigeria supported this man. They give him a huge support. Peter Obi is the only candidate in Nigeria that is going against the two main powerhouse, in politics in Nigeria. And Peter Obi talked about ethnicity, religion. He even talks about some people talking about my turn, connection, nepotism, a lot of stuff that's really endangering Nigeria and is damaging Nigeria. So Peter Obi in his word, speak about how he's going to take Nigeria out of private sector's business in Nigeria in terms of the refineries. He talks about how he's going to take Nigeria out of the private sectors in the refinery case, that Nigeria can run its own resources and its own refineries himself. And he stated in his own word, he said a lot of northern land will be used for agriculture. Most of the vast land in the northern province that is just there for nothing, that the bandits are hiding, is going to put in enormous money and a full of support for the police and for the military, and is going to use the vast land in the northern province for agriculture. And Peter Obi talks about Nigerian refineries being a public sectors, not private sectors, in times of corruption, that most of the money the government elite embezzle out of Nigeria comes from the oil theft. It's from the oil theft. So, and again, it talks about cutting the cost of the governance in Nigeria, because the people in the political sectors in Nigeria are known to be the highest paid people in terms of politics in Africa. No country pay its political actors on the shore of Africa like Nigeria. Nigerian government pay enormous money to its senators, to its governor, to his presidential candidate, to a lot of people in the political sectors. That's why you see a lot of youth rally around these sectors today. They just want to be in politics. That's what they know, because they know that's where the money is. So the new movement, the obedience movement, whereby the youth of Nigeria rally around and support Peter Obi on this movement. This movement is being carried out by the youth in the massive form. We can compare this movement to the NSAS movement, the Sosoke movement in Nigeria, at the time when the Nigerian youth came out to speak up about all the ill treatment of the citizens in Nigeria in terms of the police force, corruption, and a lot of stuff going on in Nigeria. So the obedience movement, which is the movement funded by the Nigerian youth, the Nigerian youth really moving a lot of money. They contributed a lot of money coming from the west, from the east, from the middle belt, from the northern province, to push into the Nigerian government, and which the Nigerian youth, consists of the 32% of Nigerian population, according to the United Nations Population Funds. They say the Nigerian youth are 32% of all Nigerian population. So this is a massive number and percentage, and in times of Nigerian youth waking up for their rights, for the future of the forthcoming Nigerian citizen. And this movement is pretty simple. Just a group of frustrated Nigerians, that want good governance in Nigeria. It's just simple as that. The obedience movement is based on frustrated Nigerians that want good governance in Nigeria, and accountability for all what the politicians in Nigeria, everything, all of their actions, they want accountability. And Peter Obi is a former governor of the eastern state of Nigeria, Anambra State. Peter Obi is also the foster child, the main face of the movement, obedience movement, which is just like the NSAS movement, if I'm going to say, and this movement started by the youth, and is a big movement for a lot of change in Nigeria. And now Peter Obi is shaking up the Nigerian political scene, whereby a lot of people in Nigerian politics, ever since the end of the military rule in Nigeria, they're all now scared, because Peter Obi is really moving Nigeria and is shaking Nigeria. And what he's talking about is very relevant to Nigerian problem. It talks about ethnicity, it talks about religion, and Peter Obi talks about connections in Nigeria. And Bola Ahmed Tinubu talking about his turn. I don't blame Peter Obi for this. He's trying to do what's best for the Nigerian citizen. Nigeria has a physical problem, and a lot of people know this problem is corruption, nepotism, religion issue in Nigeria, ethnicity issue in Nigeria, because Nigeria is a country that have been disappointed a lot of time by most of their government in Nigeria, or most of their, I would say, the presidents in Nigeria. A lot of them have disappointed a lot of Nigerian youth. So Nigerian citizens don't have no belief, and they don't have no trust in their political candidate, in their governance in Nigeria. That's why a lot of them came out to speak out for themselves in terms of the answers, the source. Okay, now we're talking about the obedience movement, whereby the people really support this movement because of Peter Obi previous record in Nigeria, where he was the governor of the eastern state of Anambra. And Peter Obi name came up in the Pandora paper case in Nigeria at the time of the offshore account of most of the Nigerian politicians out of Nigeria. And Peter Obi came out to speak about this, that he had no business. Peter Obi came out to speak about this. He had no business about the Pandora paper, that he had nothing to do with it. So a lot of youth really support this man, because this man talked about a lot of stuff. He talks about how he's going to transform the far northern land, because you know the northern province of Nigeria had enormous land. They had enormous land. Most of the Arabian land in Africa is in Nigeria, most in the northern province. And this man came out to speak on his interview. Peter Obi came out to speak on his interview with CNN. He stated that he's going to transform the northern province land into a huge agricultural companies and industry in the northern province, and is going to like start the state policing for the security and for the protection of the people in every state in Nigeria. And you know, a lot of Nigerians, they're tired of these problems with their government, and when they get to power, they're tired of them not doing what they talked about when they're making promises and they're campaigning for this movement, when they're trying to become the leader, like the president of the country, or the governor of the country, or the senators of the country. You know, on this time where they're trying to campaign, they speak a lot of stuff that the never attended to, or they never even, you know, do nothing about it. So the all of Nigeria have already came out to speak about this. You know, everybody put down their own opinion, you know, to voice about the insecurity issue in Nigeria, and a lot of prominent problems in Nigeria. You know, there's a lot of problems in Nigeria, and the cost of all governance need to be attended to. You know, they should cut all this money down to benefit the youth. The ASU is on strike. The government don't have enormous fund in the treasury fund, and you know, Nigerians spend more than they make. There's a lot of money, a lot of resources going out of Nigeria, but little coming back for it. So a lot of people have already talked about this, and Peter Obi have come out in his own word that is ready to fight for the citizens of Nigeria. He's ready to put in work for a lot of Nigeria, for the betterment of the future of Nigeria, because Nigerians deserve a lot. There's no business that you're going to have in Africa today that you're not going to try some in Nigeria, because a lot of money is in Nigeria. A lot of sectors are trying to like build up new innovation, new developmental growth for the Nigerian people, but nothing is coming out of it. So the Nigerian people have already rallied around Peter Obi from the eastern province of Nigeria, and he speaks himself how he's going to like put a lot of government on accountability when he becomes the president of Nigeria, and how he's going to transform the northern province of Nigeria, how he's going to cap the issue of insecurity in Nigeria, and how he's going to make things proper for the poor people in Nigeria, because now it's like the poor people in Nigeria are fighting for them to keep this man in power, you know, for the forthcoming election in 2023. And it's the only man out of Nigeria from the Labour Party fighting against the big powerhouse out of Nigerian politics. We're talking about the PDP and AC. So my people, we on Africa Unity platform. It's all about unity on this platform. There's no division. It's all about unity. It's all about for the growth of the human race and for African people. How we're going to speak our own history and put our topic and put our future in a proper realm, and you know, speak our history in the international community for people to know the struggle of Africans and where we're coming from, for the betterment of the all human race. So my people, I just came out to speak about what Peter Obi talks about his plan for Nigeria and how he's going to transform Nigeria from the insecurity issue, and you know, a lot of problem that we have in Nigeria, huge hole that we have in Nigeria. And I hope this man promises come to pass, because a lot of Nigerian leaders in the past have said a lot and they never did nothing about this. So we're coming to an end of the segment today. I'll be saying one Africa, one people, one unity. You know, Nigerian government need to do better, and with the Nigerian citizens too should know who to vote for in future when the elections start in 2023. From King Idris to you guys, I'll be saying one love, one Africa, one people, one unity. Please subscribe to my channel, like my content, share my content. Let me know how you feel about all the insight I've been giving you on this platform. Let me know how you guys feel. So I'll be coming to an end of the segment today. I'll be coming back with other hot topics on the African shore and international community. I'm saying for KingIdris, one love, one Africa, one unity, one people. Thank you.